Hi everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to use Zoom to meet with your students or fellow staff members during the next few weeks of online learning. So the first thing you want to do is launch Zoom. I'm just going to hit Command Space bar, and then I start typing Zoom and I hit enter once it shows up. If you don't see it showing up there, you can go to self-service, and it is found under utilities in self-service, but hopefully it should be automatically installed on your laptop sometime in the last few days. Next, you want to create an account. When you click create new account, you can click the sign in with Google option, and that will give you the option just to click on your GRCS Google account. You can see that's the account I'm signed up with right here. Now, we are first going to just talk about how to set up meetings with students. So one of the first things you want to do is look for your personal meeting ID. You don't need to use this, but it's recommended so that you're not needing to share new links for each meeting with students. That can get a little bit tedious. Now, we weren't sure if this would be possible at first. We thought it might be a pro feature that would go away, but it's looking like it is a basic feature that will stay available for us, which is nice. So if you click right here and you click on My Profile, it'll take you to a browser. Now, you may have to log in your browser as well. And you can see I have my personal meeting ID right here. And I also have a link for my personal meeting ID right there. And this is probably, excuse me, what I would want to share with my students. And just copy this link and then put that on my Google Classroom page. Create a new material, probably add a link there, and just call it Zoom Meeting ID. This is what we'll be using all week to meet together at the scheduled times. All right, so that's nice because you can just share that one link, and that can be good for several weeks. But there's a lot of other settings that I would recommend looking at here. I'm going to go to Settings, and you can see lots and lots of settings. So start meetings with host video on. I have that turned off, so I have a moment to maybe not have my camera on when I first join and make sure I'm presentable or whatever. Participants video, you can start with them on. I start with participants video off. I'm probably going to prefer that my students keep their cameras off most of the time just because I'm afraid that it might be a little distracting. And yeah, there's just lots and lots of other settings you can mess with here. I do have this one on, use personal meeting ID when starting an instant meeting. I would recommend turning that one on. You can also turn that on for scheduled meeting if you want to. Let's see, require password. Yeah, just lots and lots of settings here that you can choose to turn on. Here's one I definitely recommend. Mute participants upon entry. That will have new participants automatically muted so that you're not hearing all kinds of background noise, dogs barking and things like that. And they can always turn on their microphone if a student wants to verbally ask you a question or if you're having a discussion or something like that. But at least starting with it muted, I think, is a very good idea. You can choose to turn chat turned on, things like that. That's a good way for students to ask questions, file transfer. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all the settings, but I think I've highlighted some that I would probably recommend. And yeah, now let's go back to the Zoom client here. So you can see that under New Meeting, I do have Use My Personal Meeting ID turned on. I can copy this invitation. Let's copy that invitation and let's go ahead. This is just another way that you can, paste this somewhere to share with your students. Call this Zoom Meeting ID, and can add a link, and we can add paste that right here actually. So there we go. Now this is probably more than you need. So if you want to, you could just get rid of all this stuff right here and just have this link right here. That will prompt them to open Zoom, and once they do, it will take them right to your meeting room. Or you can just go to copy ID, and let's see what that gives us. Yeah, that's just that right there. So if you give them this right here, they will actually have to go into Zoom first, and then they'll paste in or type in this meeting ID. So it's kind of up to you what you want, but I like this one because it actually will take them straight to Zoom, I believe. All right, so we can post that Well, I'm not going to post that right now. So if we go back to the Zoom client here, the option to schedule is here. But personally, it's a little bit fiddly. And if you have, 3 or 4 classes per day, then you're going to have to, schedule lots of meetings. But some of you might like that, and you can add them to your calendar. You can even create event invitations for your students so it can add them to their calendar and things like that. It's kind of up to you. If you want to schedule these meetings, you can say, 6-hour Tuesday. And put in the date and the time and all that stuff. Kind of up to you. But for most of us, I think new meeting is going to be the quickest way at the scheduled time. So let's see, my 6-hour class is meeting 10:30 on Tuesday is the first time. So I will just, at 10:30, go in here, maybe a little bit before 10:30, and I'll select new meeting. And because I have that box checked to use my personal ID, and I've already pasted that onto my Google Classroom site, I'm good to go. Now I can join with computer audio, and right now I have my camera turned off, but I can go ahead and turn that on here, and there we go. Now you might not really want to see yourself, you might be a little self-conscious, maybe your house is a mess or your desk is a mess or whatever, but it is going to be important over the next few weeks to maintain that personal connection with students. You might not see it, but it does matter for students to be able to see you from time to time and to kind of maintain that relationship. It really does help. So I'm going to turn mine off for now. If you do have, your kids walk in or your dog's barking like crazy or something happens in the home, you can, quickly turn off and turn on your video, and you can mute your audio. You can say, hold on everybody, I got to deal with something here, and you can turn off your video and your audio, deal with the situation, and then when you're ready, turn it back on and resume your meeting. All right, so managing participants here, I am actually going to join as a participant so you can just see how that looks. So on my phone here, I've got the app, and I'm going to say join a meeting, and I'm going to put in this personal ID number, 790-530-7414. Now I would expect, and I'm gonna call myself Bob here, just so that we don't have 2 Nates in the room. I would expect that over the next few weeks, at times you're going to have students joining the wrong room. That's one of the disadvantages of having that Zoom meeting ID, just like we have students in the high school showing up to the wrong class. They walk into your 6-hour class and they say, oops, I've got this 8th hour. That might happen, so just be prepared for some of that as well. And okay, on my phone I say call using internet audio. I'm going to mute my microphone here just so I'm not hearing the echo through my phone. But I am going to go to Manage Participants now, down here on the bottom bar. And you can see that Bob shows up here now. And I can ask Bob to turn on his camera. If we want Bob to ask a question or demonstrate something, I can invite Bob to start the video. And it should show up on my phone here. Oh, let me click that again. Your host has asked you to start your video. So I can say OK. And there we go. So now I've got Bob's video as well. I'm going to turn that off now. Stop video. There we go. Okay, so that is just a little bit how to manage that. You can see I can also mute Bob with the microphone, or you can mute all. Now you can't, unfortunately, mute all cameras. You can only mute microphones. Allow participants to unmute themselves. I can choose whether I want to check that or not check that. But for most of what I'll be doing, I'm probably going to have my students listed right here, and I will mute all their microphones. And if they have their cameras turned on, if I find it distracting, I'll go ahead and just say stop video, which will show up right here. All right, so that is an option there. I'm going to go ahead and you can also, by the way, there's a lot of options here. You can remove someone from this if they're being disruptive or whatever, and I think I have the option selected now where they would not be able to rejoin right away. You can make someone the host. You can rename someone if they have a nickname, or maybe they accidentally are in their parents' account or something like that, or a sibling's account. You can go ahead and rename them. And you can chat privately with one individual. If you need to say, ask someone something privately, you can do that here. There is also the option for chat right down here. And students, even if they're on their phone, I think will have the option to chat. So yep, here I am on my phone. And let's just see if I can do it. hello. Send that message, and then you can see that shows up right there from Bob. So that's a really good way for students to ask questions, to participate. You can ask them how they're doing, things like that. Yeah, that can be a good way to interact with your students there in the chat. Here's the option to share files. I am actually going to now, I think, end the call with Bob. So Bob is going to leave the room, leave meeting, and there we go. It's back to just me. Let me see if I can show you now how to share screen. Oh, here's the record button, by the way. Now, there was an option in the settings to actually record. Let's just do Command F here, record. Okay, recording, here we go. And you can turn on automatic recording. It will record meetings as soon as they start. Personally, I'm not going to have that on. What I'm going to do is if I'm going to be covering something that I think is really important for students to know, maybe it's some announcements or something like that, or some critical content, I'll hit the record button right here. And that will save it as a file on my desktop. That way, students who maybe couldn't make it that day, I can upload that video for them to Google Drive later and share that link and just say, hey, if you weren't at today's session, here is what you missed. So that record button is right down here, and you can start that at any time during your Zoom meeting. All right, now sharing screen. This is really valuable if you're going through some content. So I have, you also have whiteboard here, by the way, but I am going to just double click on desktop, and that will start sharing my desktop just like this. Can still see my camera here. I think if other students are joined, you'll see them below here, and there'll be just a list of all the people and perhaps some webcam feeds too. So I can go over to my browser now, and I can go through some slides with my students, talk about today's learning target, and kind of get them started on whatever we're going to be covering. And then, go over to my Google Classroom page and navigate to show them where certain resources are to make sure that everyone's on the right page and all that stuff. So when I want to stop sharing, I just hit the stop share button right there, and there we go, out of the screen sharing. So that is a really nice feature that you can use to share resources and things like that with your students. I think I've covered enough of the basics here, but there are obviously a lot more features, a lot more settings that you can tinker around with. I will say, just expect some technical hiccups here and there. Expect that, you're going to have the wrong microphone. Students will say, I can't hear you, and things like that. Stuff like that is just bound to happen over the next few weeks. So, I think we just have to have some patience, understand this is a learning experience, and we'll slowly get better at it. And of course, your tech staff, your building tech staff are around to support you. We are standing by, happy to help, and want to make sure that you feel comfortable doing this. So let us know if you do have any questions at any time. All right, I think that's all. Good luck. You can do this, and let us know if you need help. Bye.